Hi guys, long time no talk. A lot of stuff regarding this project has changed, and I'm liking the direction that this project is going. I have done some brainstorming on the actual game that I want to make, and I'll be revealing that in a later video once I get all of the base features that I have planned finished. Anyways, I have a 45-minute video draft for a whole bunch of changes that I was trying to make. So if you want me to upload that, if you guys want to watch it, leave a comment on this video. I'll finish up. I have like 5 to 10 minutes of editing left on it, like 5 to 10 minutes of video to edit left on it, which is fine. But if you want me to upload it, I will. Just leave a comment on this video. I'm not going to go into much detail in this video concerning the coding changes that I've made because there are a lot of them. For example, one of my commits has a difference of an addition of like 1,000 lines of whatever, which there's a reason for, which I'll get to in a minute. And B, I want to do a really long video once I have checked off all the boxes for the in-progress version that I'm currently working on. Speaking of versioning, I'm switching to this really fun, whimsical system of versioning called Pride versioning. And that will be explained in a later video, maybe in this video, but probably a later video. It's also explained on the README. And I'm switching to this versioning system just because it should help me stay motivated on working on this project, because it tracks the changes that the developer is proud of rather than major update, minor update kind of system. But anyways, there's that. That's a change that I'm planning on making, or going to be making. Anyways, by the time that this video is out, the main branch on the GitHub should reflect the changes made in this video. So you may have noticed that the language that voxEngine is being developed in has changed. I'm no longer developing it in C++, I am now a Rustasian. Of course, it was the natural evolution, as I am an Arch Linux user, so. But anyways, I actually do have reasons for why I chose to switch to Rust as opposed to staying with C++. And the main reason is that while I was coding all the changes for that 45-minute long draft video, I spent a lot of that time going through address sanitizer logs and trying to fix memory leaks and stuff, and segmentation faults, and I can do that. I know how to do that, but I decided that it would be easier and a little bit less demoralizing to just switch to a language that will have less of those problems by design. And the way that Rust is coded, or at least the way that safe Rust is coded, makes it almost impossible to have things like memory leaks or segmentation faults. However, the existence of safe Rust implies unsafe Rust. And unfortunately, I do have to code some unsafe Rust. So I still have a possibility of memory leaks and segmentation faults. It's just a lot less than previously in the C++ version of voxEngine. Because on top of changing programming language, I also changed graphics APIs from OpenGL to Vulkan. The Vulkan crate that I'm using for the Rust rewrite requires the use of Rust's unsafe keyboard to perform things like presenting swap chain images, because it's basically a wrapper on the C, the Vulkan C API, if that makes any sense. However, having Vulkan and Rust allow me to solve one of the biggest bottlenecks in the C++ version, which was the time it took to mesh chunks. And I'm fixing this by not rendering using rasterization, and I'm rendering now with raycasting. And this is not anywhere close to a new idea. In fact, this is a really old idea from like the 1980s for voxel-based games. But because with modern hardware, this becomes a realistic goal. Where when this idea was first thought up and the algorithms for this were first developed, it was not really realistic because of hardware limitations. But with modern hardware, this is realistic. And so the way that my current renderer works is by creating raycasts for each pixel to render, and then I traverse the raycast, so each raycast will traverse through the voxel grid, and using a similar approach to a DDA algorithm that was pioneered by two Canadian computer scientists, Amin Tides and Wu. There will be a link to their paper in the description, but by using that algorithm, I'm able to basically raycast and check for voxels and then tell the pixels to render what I want them to render. If you want a more in-depth explanation of this algorithm, there's a wonderful video that I stumbled across that actually inspired this, and I did kind of steal some code from him, but it's fine because it's open source anyways. But by this YouTuber called Deadlock Code, and I will also have this video and the accompanying GitHub will also be linked in the description. And I kind of stole the two compute shaders that he made, but I did do some changes to the traversal compute shader. There's a resampler and a traversal, and they link on top of each other. Anyways, another idea that I took from his video is bit packing the voxels into a single integer. I'm using an unsigned 128 bit integer, and the reason why this is great is because it allows me to like significantly decrease the amount of RAM used by the game engine. So right now, the example or the like demo that is on the GitHub when this video will release can theoretically store 13,824 voxels in about 150 megabytes of RAM. 150, 160 megabytes of RAM. And the way that this works is I'm representing my voxels as empty or solid instead of how I was previously representing them as different types of voxels. And you may be thinking, oh no, you won't be able to have different types of voxels for biomes and things, but I do have some ideas on how to do that and still maintain a very, very low RAM size for storing the world and the voxels. So yeah, that's part of the next steps, is going to be implementing or re-implementing the Perlin noise map based world generation, so that's height and biome. And then also I want to implement collisions in physics. If you take a look at by the time this video gets posted, the branch will be closed, but there will be a branch titled something something episode 4. If you look at the first couple commits on that branch, I had actually implemented this whole physics engine, like physics handler, in C++. And I have most of it ported over to Rust. Like the way that I started off making this in the C++ version was by converting my player movement to use forces, basically. So instead of updating the position vec3 directly, I would update a net force variable, and I would apply forces based off of what inputs the player is inputting to the character. And so I had gotten collisions working with that as well. So there was I had friction, there was gravity, you could move around. It was working very well, but I haven't gotten that implemented yet in this version because I've spent a lot of time writing Vulkan boilerplate code and debugging why my Vulkan images and buffers aren't buffering or imaging the way that I want them to. And yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. That's it for this little check-in update. It's about 10 minutes long. But by the time that this is edited and uploaded, which should be within a couple days of this recording, there should be a Linux binary and a Windows binary in the releases tab. Also, if you like this project, you want to see more, because I keep finding like voxEngine developers and people being like, oh no, did another voxEngine guy developer go missing? So if you like this project, you can start on GitHub. That way you get like notifications when I update or upload or push a new commit or update the code base in any way, because I'm constantly working on this in my free time. Yeah, and if you guys have any feedback or suggestions or ideas for the final game, I will do a little bit of a spoiler. I'm thinking of making a roguelike, so something along the lines of like Risk of Rain 2, Risk of Rain, Rogue, basically that kind of game. So yeah, I kind of kept you guys waiting on an update for this project. It's been about almost half a year. Holy, it's been almost half a year. I'm really going to be trying to get my upload schedule a lot nicer going forward. Also streaming. I stream on Twitch occasionally. That should also be ramping up in the next like couple weeks to a month. There'll be mountain bike videos coming out again, because guess what? It's mountain bike season pretty much, like within the next like month and a half. Yep. Anyways, that was it for this devlog. This should be episode 3. Yeah, this is episode 3. Technically 4, but episode 3. Episode 3. Anyways, I don't know how to end this video, so I'm just going to keep rambling, and then at some point I'm going to like press the stop recording button, and